Hi, today we'll be talking about Yuma Territorial Prison. The Yuma Territorial Prison is located on the banks of the Colorado River in Arizona and has its own unique legacy. During its short life of 34 years, the prison housed more than 3,000 inmates, ranging from locals to inmates from 21 other countries like Mexico, Germany, and England. They were old and young, with the youngest being a 15-year-old Charles Smith sentenced to 1 year for grand larceny. The inmates came from different backgrounds: carpenters, cooks, gamblers, and sailors, committing crimes like robbery, horse stealing, and drug trafficking. The prison came about to be by the actions of a Yuma legislator, Jose Maria Redondo, an entrepreneur and rancher. It was 1875, and the legislator was meeting to address several issues, with one of them being the establishment of a territorial prison. Jose Maria was in the presence that day. The legislature was talking about choosing a state capital, a seat for the University of Arizona, and a territorial prison. While the first two topics were chosen upon, the assembly went for recess, except for Jose Maria, who crossed out Phoenix and wrote Yuma. Once back from the recess, the legislatures voted upon it, and Yuma had itself a prison. The inmates of Yuma referred to it as a hellhole, with 6 inmates crammed in a cell and only a single bucket given to them as bathroom. The prisoners were allowed up to one bath per week and were baked in temperatures rising up to 110 Fahrenheit. Those who broke rules had to wear a ball and chain and were locked up in a dark cell, some for as long as 100 days. The cell was 15 by 15 and had no windows. The inmates were only fed bread and water. The perpetual darkness drove many of the inmates crazy. The Yuma Territorial Prison had 26 escapees. The prisoners would most often use ladders or rope to use in their plan to escape over the wall. One inmate simply walked off outside the prison wall disguised as a work detail. Even though there were several escape attempts, the Gates riot of 1887 was the most daring one. A group of 7 Hispanic criminals overtook Superintendent Thomas Gates, acquiring his pistol and holding him hostage, demanding the prison gates be opened. The plan would have worked had it not been for another inmate, Barney Riggs, who disarmed the assailants, firing shots at them, and rescued the superintendent. Even though there was a lot going on inside the prison, the locals called Yuma Territorial Prison as the country club in Colorado due to its modern amenities. The prison had a library, the largest of the territory at the time. Prisoners were taught to read and write, speak German, and learn arithmetic. The prison also had a hospital, somewhat advanced of its time. By 1885, the prison had electricity and fans which circulated air in the cell block along with an early telephone. There was even a prison band. With no room for expansion, the prison was finally closed in 1909 and the prisoners were located to the new prison in Florence, Arizona. However, the prison was later used as a temporary high school and hospital, among other things.